Hello, tonight I'm going to go through my top 10 suggestions for island design. Now, my island is by far not the best, and a lot of my ideas I got from other people, but I thought I would give you some of my favorites. Now, my island is kind of a natural theme, and so these ideas are going to kind of help enhance that, and you might hate them, and it might just not be what you're going for, but I hope that these help some people kind of get ideas about what they can do to improve their island. The first thing I really like to do is put dirt underneath flowers and weeds. I just think that it looks more neat and more like the flowers were intentionally placed there rather than like growing out of control and just having appeared there. I'm still working on getting dirt under all of my flowers, but I do think that adding dirt underneath really helps to make it look really natural, and I just really like how it looks. Next, I really try to have transition areas. I like having a space that really shows that you're going from one section of an island to another. So here's my residential area, and I end up going into a little seating area before you leave the residential area. And I think that just really helps to wrap everything up and make it more cohesive. Even if you only have a tiny space, you can throw a street light and a bench, and that's really all you need. This is really hard sometimes, and you can tell from my island that I am guilty of not following this rule sometimes, but when you're going for a natural look, you really want to try to keep paths and terraforming not straight. Even if you can get from point A to point B with a path in a straight line, you want to have it weave back and forth and curve, because that's just how natural paths kind of form. As well as when you have cliffs for terraforming, you don't want to leave a bunch of just perfect rectangles lying around, because that's just not what happens in nature. I definitely try to round off the cliff edges when possible. You can also pay attention to how you put your trees down. Don't have them lined up in a grid, place them randomly. You can even place a tree that's kind of in the way of something, and it just looks a lot more natural that way. Custom designs can completely transform your island. There are so many paths and signs to choose from, and anytime you're looking for a way to fill up space without making it look cluttered, just throw a custom design down on the ground. They're also really great for adding little details to things, especially if you have some sort of shop on your island. You can put up a sign and it just makes everything look so much better. I really love the custom designs, and they're really easy to switch out. If you have a 9-piece path that curves, all you have to do to switch out your path for each season is go and save your design over the old one, and everything's already placed. You don't have to go and put it down again. It's already there. It's just so easy to use, and they really make a huge difference. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I think the weeds look really good sometimes if you put them in the right places. If you have a natural looking island, and even your campsite, if you want it to really be woodsy, leave weeds on the ground. Leave branches and pine cones on the ground. It just looks more natural. Things fall off of trees and they don't get picked up all the time. If you use amiibos, you know that the villagers make you make them something before you can invite them to move in. Now, I hate running back and forth on my island, so I try to have all of the materials that I might need to make a DIY right there by the campsite. If I'm going to be doing terraforming, I try to keep a trash can in my pocket so that I can just place it and throw anything away that I need to, so I don't have to keep going and emptying my pockets. Just think about the things that you use all the time and you never have on you when you need them, and try to put them somewhere where they're easily accessible. Next is placing items down that you don't necessarily think of placing, like watering cans or shovels or axes. I think that it really looks nice to place these items near things that look like those items were used for, because it makes the area look more lived in and used. I also really love placing sandals and umbrellas near the beach because it just makes the area look so lived in, and I really love that. This can be a real pain and require a lot of bells, but it's totally worth making extra accounts so that you can use those extra houses to make different types of buildings on the island. Of course, if you don't keep up with logging in, you're gonna have cockroaches, and I wouldn't eat at my cafes because they're constantly crawling with cockroaches, but they look really nice even from the outside if you never even go in. I've also seen some people make tents and just not pay that first payment and leave them as tents on the beach, which looks really cute. So when you first get the house, it's a yellow tent. It looks really nice either way. You can do so much with these. My next suggestion is to put plants where they can't grow. I especially love what coconuts look like when you first place them in the ground, and if you put them in dirt, they won't grow into palm trees. They just look like a plant, and so you can have a lot of fun kind of making a really interesting looking garden with that. You can also put flowers on the beach where they won't grow, they'll just stay as basically looking like weeds or maybe even seaweed. It's just more interesting sometimes to have different textures coming out of the ground. You can also place fully grown flowers on your beach and pluck the flower off, and you'll have a different type of stem that looks like a different type of weed, which I think can look really cool. You can really play around with different types of textures to add variety. If an area doesn't really look complete to you and you have no idea what else you can add some fencing. I love adding fencing, even if there's not a lot of room to have a completely enclosed area. Just placing pieces here and there really helps to make an area look complete. It's also just a really great way to fill space when you don't like what something looks like empty. Like between these two houses, there's a tiny bit of fence, and I think it just looks better than having a blank space. So those are my top 10 design ideas. They're nothing special. You might hate all of them, but I hope that they sort of helped some people with some inspiration, and let me know in the comments if you're already doing any of these things or if there's something that you really want to try now that you've seen it. Best of luck with designing the rest of your island, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.